Hi.
No, I can't say hi right now. You just blew my mind.
Alexandros is confused.
I'm so confused right now, guys. Say
hi
You're
first.
confused.
Say hi.
I'm fucking confused. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone. Welcome to the Smut Couch. Today we're going to be covering When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Harper Collins was super nice to send us these little exclusive. Oh, there we. Hey, look at that. Yeah, these fun little.
We got these
editions.
beautiful hardcovers with the sprayed edges. Not my voice. Hello, with the sprayed edges and the beautiful artwork inside and the wonderful glossary at the front of the book that made me understand what I was reading the whole time that Alexandros didn't realize was there.
Hey, to be fair, when I started looking at the glossary at chapter 85.
How many chapters are in this book? 85?
It's about 90, I think. But, I'm at chapter 85 when you tell me, oh, yeah, the glossary has all the definitions and everything. I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, I guess I could.
There are 84 chapters in this book, my dear friend.
No. Oh, well, in Audible, it counts the
diary entries?
It counts the diary entries as separate chapters.
I'm sorry.
So I don't know where that would be, per se.
That's so funny. Yeah, okay, so thank you, Harper Collins. It's so beautiful and pretty, and I loved it.
But literally right before we started recording, like as the countdown was happening, Maddy was like, oh yeah, it's because there's no day and night in this world.
Alexandra started getting mad because he's
Mad's a strong word.
Okay.
Like, all right. I felt stupid reading this.
Yeah. This challenged us a little bit. But Alexandros was like, what did you say? You were like, this fantasy, she's making up words.
I wasn't mad about that. I was like, Aurora cycle was just a mouthful every single time for like day. Because it's like, I knew that it was like a 24-hour cycle and I figured that out without the glossary. So I have something cooking up here.
A little bit of brain matter.
A little bit.
So I said to him, Alexandros, there's no day or night. They are aurora cycles for a reason. And he's like, what do you mean? So everybody join me on this journey through the map where I explain how this whole thing works. Okay? So if you have a book, open it up to the map.
Full disclosure about this map. I didn't know where anyone was at any point in time. And this is like the first time in fantasy where I've been so lost. And I feel like that's just because for the first chapter where they explained everything so much, like in so much detail with exposition, it just went right over my head.
Which it did for me too. I read the beginning 3 times.
Okay, I just reread the beginning after I finished everything.
Yeah.
Like I went back and was like, all right, let's read this first chapter again. Boy, did I was like, oh, they just, yeah, cool. So everything I was confused about is just explained.
I think it's because the writing is very lyrical and very like magical and like descriptive. So I think that sometimes it takes like, especially in the first bit, it takes your mind a second to understand what's happening and how she's using language to describe the world.
I think that's why like when starting a fantasy book, I need much slower easing into it. Like it's the same. I think we were joking like Crescent City where it's like, yeah, now here's everything. It was where that one like kind of throws you into it. This one is like gives you a whole history lesson at the start. And you're just like, What do you? Okay, all right. Whew. Let's just get into it, and then I'll figure it out. And then it took me a lot longer to figure it out.
Let me explain this really quick.
All right, get to that map.
Here's the map. So this is their world. Their world is a little bit. I don't know the science, but it's a little bit giving flat Earth. You'll understand what I'm saying. The top up here, this circle right here, that's the sun. Okay, so only this part up here at the top.
Thank you, Solomon. You pulled up the little map right there. Look at that. Hey.
Only the part at the top gets sunlight.
Okay.
So that's hot. That's called the burn.
The burn.
Okay, the burn. Okay. The middle, that is the fade. Okay, so it's like what?
Catch this fade.
The fade. Yeah. So it's like kind of giving always sunset vibes there. Always dawn, always dusk vibes.
Dawn chord.
Yeah.
Gotta relate it back to ACOTAR, so my little stupid brain that can only fit one thing in at a time. Like,
I was relating it back to Game of Thrones often, because that helped me a lot. But not this part, but like
I was like, what?
Okay, the bottom, that is the shade, right?
That's where the moon blooms.
Yes. So that's what I was about to get to. So the bottom, it's always dark. There's never sun there.
Okay.
Okay, so the sun only reaches the top. That's why it's hot there. It's called the burn. That's where the saber scythes are from.
Mm.
The middle, that's where the
molten claws.
molten maws are from.
Molten maw. That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the bottom, that's icy Elsa vibes. That's
Yes.
where the moon plumes are from.
Okay.
Okay, so it goes from hot to cold,
You gotta do this like
essentially.
story time to like the little dumb pea brain that I am. I'm just like, oh.
It's just wacky. Okay, so
What's the curvy line that goes all the way from top to bottom?
I think that's just artistic.
I don't know.
choice. Mhm.
couldn't
Is that
tell you.
is that an aurora?
Perhaps
Mayhaps it's an aurora.
Perhaps so
or
the
a mountain
auroras.
range or something. Okay.
Yeah,
That
I'm
is
not too
just
sure.
a really never mind. I'm not gonna finish that show.
So there's like the aurora. The auroras are what signify day and night going because like day and slumber, which is why it's called that because it's
Mhm.
not really day and night as we know it because the sun doesn't rise and fall and the sun doesn't rise and set. The auroras do.
I did like hearing it called slumber. Like
Yeah, it's
that was
cute.
nice. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
No, you said that like I was mad about the wording. I was just getting like frustrated because there were so many that I had to learn. I do like when there
Right.
are new
No,
like
yeah.
new words and like different things to call them. And if I had known that there wasn't a night and day, I would have totally been more
'Cause
on board with
I
it.
understand what you're saying
But
because
I
you're
was like-
almost like it's almost giving like why are we being snooty and renaming this, but it's not because it is just different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I hope that made sense. And if you were confused, I hope that made sense.
Okay.
Also, along those lines, you said you were confused about the kings.
A little bit. I was confused about the Kings. Like I was like,
Want me to
okay.
explain?
You know what? I would love for you to, guys.
Okay.
In a shocking turn of events, Maddie is going to be the yapper. For
I know
this episode.
what's going on for
do you
once.
want that? Do you want the hat? Do you want the?
No, I have got new bangs. I
okay,
can't smush them.
you can't do it. All
yeah,
right.
I can't smush them, but thank you.
There we go.
Okay.
You get the smut couch.
So,
the yap cap.
you guys, I'm so proud of myself. So there are the Vagors, which is giving Vagar, which I was like,
Yeah, I kept hearing that, and I was like, "House of the Dragon just ended," and I'm still mad about that ending. So
we're
don't get me
major
started.
Game of Thrones fans. So, okay, so there's the three
I
kings.
gotta get the map back open.
Yeah. And the kings, it's basically the Vagors are kind of like essentially conquering all of the whole world. So
Mm.
there's the three kings, there's three brothers. So there's those
And then
twins.
that spoiler alert for the end. Go back and read it now if you haven't yet. Yeah, there's that little half brother right there at the end.
Yeah, you picked up on that?
Yeah, I picked up on that. He said my half.
You didn't pick up on a lot, sir.
That's what. Okay. So, I texted Maddie. Full disclosure, I was kind of really upset when I finished this book because it ends very abruptly on a cliffhanger, which I can be okay with. As long as like and like I feel like a lot was going on in this book, so my brain was taking time to process. However, I finally understood what was happening in this world and everything right at about the last chapter. And so when it ended right after that, I was like, "Wait, hold on!" But
I finally caught up.
I'm finally with you guys now. Why are we going to the next book now? No. Keep going for another 30 chapters. I'm ready now.
Screaming. Yeah. I mean, like I did look at a TikTok that helped me a lot, done by I wrote her name down. Brielle Pepper. My last name's Barry. Her last name's Pepper. I feel like we could be friends. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But thank you to you, girl. You know what I mean? Like food last names. Okay.
You gotta cite your sources. Did you put it in APA format? Hold on.
Yeah, truly. Okay, so we'll get more into the plot, but let me just help with the world building. So there's his brothers, there's Khan and the two like twin brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
All three of them, their family is essentially conquering this whole world.
Yeah.
Right? Khan is the king of the burn. So he's all the way up at the top where it's hot.
Okay, I got that one.
Yeah. And
that's
then the other two are the other.
Mr. Dark, Brooding, and Handsome.
Yeah, the other two are the other places.
And they're twins. Do you know which one is which?
Nope. Taroth is the one that she is supposed to marry.
Yes.
Yeah. Where if he's the fade or the shade, bitch, I don't know.
I think wouldn't
Khan, there's Khan.
no
huh?
it would be the shade, right? Because that's where her family
Where
was in charge.
she's from.
Yeah.
Good job, Alexandros.
Look at us. Look at us figuring this out.
Yeah,
we're working through it,
Okay,
guys.
sorry, guys.
Okay.
This
This is gonna be we usually we're the experts. This time we're
I am proud of myself though. Okay, so let's get more into it. So
maybe that's just me. I'm projecting onto you. I
yeah,
should be
please.
doing
I'm doing really well.
You're doing really good.
Thank you.
This is definitely something that I need to reread, at least like the first 30
I want to
chapters
reread
of,
it.
just because I fear that I missed a lot.
Right.
Because for context, I didn't understand where all these moons were coming from.
Let me talk about the moons really quick
Okay.
before we get more into it. So in this world, there are dragons, and the dragons, when they die, they either just plop die in the middle of nowhere, which is
Relatable.
sad. Yeah, which is sad. That's not like the way they should die is up in the sky. Like they calcify and
stratosphere and
curl
stuff
up.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're moons essentially, right? So the sky is littered with all of these moons that are fossilized dragons.
When I caught on to that, there were a bunch of moons
Yeah.
in the sky during I think it was one of the
You can even see them in here. There's one.
Yes, we can, can't we?
Yeah.
These super amazing copies that we got that I apparently didn't open once while I was reading this book.
Yeah, like there's one right there. So there are these moons that, well, okay, so there's that. For that to be better understood, I have to now talk about the magic system.
Talk about the magic system.
This is an elemental magic system, okay?
5 gods.
It's kind of giving Avatar a little bit. So there's, let me get their names.
There's Balder, the god of the
Boulder?
earth. Boulder, sorry, yeah.
Boulder.
Spelt not like Boulder, but, a little bit
Yeah, yeah.
differently.
There's
Rain, who's in charge of water.
Rain.
Claude.
Claude, yeah, Claude.
Wind.
Who's wind.
Mm-hmm. Or air.
And Ignis,
Ignis,
fire. And then
fire.
there's Kalis,
Kalis.
who is the ether. Okay.
Mhm. The nothing, essentially.
The nothing,
right?
that
The
thing
dark,
that
the
exists
abyss.
between.
Yeah.
Right. So the people who exist in this world who use there's
Fae,
there's
yeah.
there's fae and then there's nulls, so people who have the magic and don't. They hear the gods.
They're all fae still, though, right?
Yeah.
They're
But
just the gnolls and the elementals. I think.
right. So they.
The expert didn't know dragons were the moons.
You're doing great. So I'm okay. Get it together, Maddie. You gotta pull this one through. Get it together, Maddie. Do it for Sarah A. Parker. Okay. So the people can wield basically the powers of these gods by hearing them sing to them or speak to them, and that's how they use them.
Mm-hmm.
And the people
usually
it is very cool. Usually the people have one or two, or the elementals have one or two gods that they speak to, who they magic
Sing
they
to,
wield, sing, whatever. She's working because she's a singer vibes.
Singer.
Right. But these kings and stuff, they will often have 3.
Mm-hmm.
But there's never, of course, ever been anyone who's had all of them.
Only the Avatar, master of all 4 dragon plumes.
Right. And nobody talks to Kalis. Nobody uses Kalis, whatever, the ether, because he's currently trapped inside of a stone. It's giving Sophia the First.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Where he's trapped in a stone, and it's worn by the princess of this whole place, whatever. And
the shade.
Of the
usually,
shade.
'cause that's the kingdom. Okay.
Wait, let me finish.
I'll let you go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm excited that I find it. I'm like, oh, I know this one. I know this one. Me.
Let me just finish really quick. So, and they trapped him inside this stone because years ago, a bunch of the dragons just started falling out of the sky, and they're like, oh, Kalis is being drama. He wants attention. Let's trap him into a stone so that no one can speak to him.
I'm sorry. I have to ask real quick. Was it his fault, though, or was it just an aspect?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't think we know yet.
Because it seemed like it stopped after they sealed him. So I was like, all right.
Right.
I don't think it was intentional.
Well, I don't think we know if he's good or bad yet.
Is he? I'll let you finish your thing before.
That's about it.
Okay.
But he lives on the Princess of the Shade. Sure.
Well,
and kind of sucks the life out of her. Whatever.
Rave's crown back when she was a princess.
When she was Eowyn.
Eowyn, no. So Eowyn Raven Navon.
Yeah.
Rave, not Raven.
Rave.
Yeah. Eowyn Rave Navon.
Okay, so wait, where were we?
She is the one.
So she has the.
Yeah, she's got, or she used to have the little crown. Was it a crown?
Yeah. I think I'm going Sophia first.
Yeah, you're.
But yeah, it's
got a princess trapped in there.
Diadem vibes. Yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to ask is the other Callius?
I don't think so. Can we first talk about the plot a little bit?
We can go into the plot a little bit. Okay, that's that. I can do this part.
Let's talk about the protagonist before we get into the other.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
So Rave is the protagonist.
Yes.
She is the sassy MMC of all of our dreams,
Who
giving
likes
Selena
using
vibes.
daggers. Yep.
Yes, and she's an assassin, right?
Of course
And
she is.
Of course she
Yes,
is.
of course she is.
And she speaks to. We first know that she speaks to Claude, whatever, and so she can like wield.
She's a little airbender. She's literally the last airbender.
No, like exactly.
Okay. Not to call you out, Sarah. Is this Avatar: The Last Airbender fan fiction? It's okay if it is. I like it.
Like fan fiction.
You got a bunch of weird meshed up animals together. Not weird, but like creative meshed up animals together, you know?
There are some creative.
You got saber-toothed tigers and dragons mixed together. You got molten maws, which are just like griffins and phoenixes or something like that, which is what I was envisioning essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. Where's the fanfic version?
I'm screaming. Okay, so Miss Girl, she basically is hired on as an assassin, and she
Or like a rebel group.
yeah, she works for a rebel group.
Firth Dua or something like that.
Something. And
I just figured out Aurora Cycle, guys. You gotta give me
we kind of
Dua.
figure out that she's like kind of giving like all of them do, where she's like she really has a good heart and she like wants to save children. It's kind of giving Shadow and Bone, where the kids go through a like test to see if they have the powers or don't, and then they're like kind of taken to go train. And she's like, I don't like that. Let's not make these kids go be taken. Whatever. And what?
I just think it's
She's
funny.
looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, I'm taking it because I was like, oh yeah, that's right. She freed the kids at the start.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
It was
Because yeah.
20 hours ago. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So
The audiobook takes.
and because so then she like she gets in trouble. She gets caught essentially, and she gets imprisoned. And there she meets this guy who she's like, Well, she meets him when she's working late because she's a singer vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, that guy is giving.
You are skipping her
What am I
bestie
skipping?
dying.
No, I'm not.
She gets captured.
Yeah, I am. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. If are we good? All right. So
I was laughing because Solomon was laughing. Go ahead.
yeah, she does her first assassination thing that goes off pretty
forgot,
successfully
sorry.
with like a creep that like was gonna be doing
Yeah,
some
yeah.
alleyway, not okay stuff.
Spooky.
I'm gonna be honest. I this is where I actually really started liking the book right at the start, which is good, even though I was so confused.
At the start of the book, I liked it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we start off with like the title is like a unique start
Right.
to the book. It's like not the bowl of mac and cheese format
It's
that we
giving different.
talked about. That
Yeah, yeah.
like that's a kind of a trope that's like building
Yeah.
up a lot, and we need to find something new. So I liked that. I liked the artwork on it. It looked unique. So is unique-ish. There we go.
Okay, there you
That's the
go.
word. There we are. And I was so surprised that this creep died so fast.
Period.
Like the first one that she's like, and then I eviscerated him, cut him apart, stabbed him a few times, cut off his hand, and I threw his body over the edge. And I was
and
like,
I carved what he did into like
Yeah.
It's crazy. I live.
So yeah, also trigger warnings at the start, which I was like,
Yeah, it's kind of gnarly.
go on.
It's violent for sure.
It was very violent so fast. And I was like, oh my God, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what the heck the null is. Hold on.
No, really.
So liked all that.
But then yeah, she lives with a little like a younger girl.
yeah.
Yeah, and she's
Mhm.
like but
Essie? Was that her name?
Essie, yeah, but
Okay.
she won't say she loves her. She's like, love you, and she's like won't say that she
Like,
loves
I
her.
appreciate you.
She's like, thanks, bye. And then she has this fun little. I love the like paper crane vibe things that
Mhm.
they like. What?
I didn't. It took me
Oh,
until she
God.
sent Nee is this
Uh-huh.
one's name.
Yeah.
What are they called? What are they actually called? I don't know.
Oh,
They have little message systems that are like little birds that you write on.
it's giving tweets because they're birds. Get it?
That's so good. I fucking hate that. I fucking hate how good that is.
Thank
I
you.
hate that I didn't come up with it. Damn it.
I can't remember their names. Guys, let's be so for real.
Does it start with an L? All right, you
Yeah.
look. I'll mansplain.
Okay, man.
I didn't realize that they were actually just folded up like origami birds.
Yeah, there is a picture in the book. At the beginning of
Guys,
the.
I did Audible for this one.
Yeah,
Harper Collins, here's some great like copies for you. Me like being like, oh cool, this will look great on my bookshelf. Oh, there's different stuff inside too. That's
Yeah, girl,
crazy.
there was a lot.
That's crazy.
But I don't know what they're called, but so let's just move on. So she has this thing that she calls it knee. It's basically like a little pet. Stop reading and
Sorry.
you were supposed to read it already.
I did read it. I read it. Just because I'm dumb and I didn't get it, it's not my fault.
Oh,
This podcast does not require me to understand, just that I did the readings.
Oh God. So Nee, she has this like little pet, like little bird flappy thing.
That was sent to her. It says, I need you.
Yeah. She calls it Nee.
I need.
Yeah. And it's kind of like the only thing she like kind of has, because she won't let herself get close to everybody because everybody dies, including like her friend Fallon, which like who knows if Fallon was actually ever really real or if she was in the scavenger pit, whatever, the house down boots fighting thing, fire vibes she was in.
Yeah.
I'm like, was Fallon real or was she Kazari? Or is she a memory that she has from before? You know what I'm saying? You don't know what I'm saying. It's okay. Maybe some of you do.
You're going to hate me for this one.
What?
Who's Fallon?
She's just a friend that she talks about all the time. And towards the beginning of the book, especially, she's like, I had a friend who died. And she's like, it's one of the reasons why she won't get close to people, because she's like, my family died and so did my friend. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I'm sitting here like, did I read the book? Hold on
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, so then Essie dies. Sorry, she does.
She gets killed doing some stupid stuff.
Yeah, and then that kind of sets us off, because then she goes and like wants to kill the guy that did it to her. She gets caught. Then she ends up imprisoned. This is when she sees the guy again, Khan. We don't really, but we're like, she's like, why is this king here? Hello. But she's like, there's something familiar about him.
When she gets caught is our first introduction to the other, though.
Yeah.
And I was so confused reading that. I was like, the other?
My first thought was that it's the dragon. As this is going, as you guys know, there are I put it together pretty quick. There's the diary entries from Eowyn, and you find, and I was like, oh, it's her, and I figured it out, to be honest, from the beginning. I'm pretty sure the other is the dragon that she died with. Although I didn't realize that. Are you okay? Did I just blow your mind a little bit?
That's so. Yeah. That it would be the fucking dragon one.
Yeah, I think so, because when she bit off that guy's finger, she was like, tastes good.
She's like, yummy, yummy.
Because it's a dragon.
And she understood the moon plume.
Yeah. I feel so smart for once.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So the other, like, she goes off, kills the thing, whatever, and that's how she gets imprisoned, because whatever. But she can't really remember it. Also, as she's the other, is when she uses Boulder for the first time. So we discover she doesn't have just one power, she has two.
Maybe she's going to have 3.
Maybe she has 3, or maybe she has 4.
Maybe she'll have 4. Maybe she'll have all 5 by the end. Yeah.
So
who can say?
Yeah. So then
who knows?
Then she's basically, they're like, okay, we're sentencing you to death. We're gonna have the dragons eat you. And as they're about to eat her,
the dragons are gonna eat.
As they're about to eat her, who saves her? Khan, of course, comes in on his dragon.
Just the dragon comes in.
Oh, right. But Khan saves her.
Yeah, yeah, Khan saves her.
And the dragon scoops her up, eats her almost. She thinks she's gonna be eaten, but he just takes her away to the burn. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
You following? Okay, good job.
No, because this is like where I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I see what's happening.
And she's like, there's something about this guy. She's like, there's something about him. He's giving familiar, like, there's something happening here, and I don't really understand.
It's like I had a long lost love with him before my amnesia. That's crazy.
Exactly. As this is going on, as I said, we're getting these diary entries from Eowyn. And we kind of get the history of how she was, she went with her brother, she snuck on her brother's sleigh when he was going to go get a dragon. He wanted to go get a dragon, whatever. Also, the dragons, the saber scythes, and then the
Molten Maws?
No.
Moon plumes?
Moon plumes are very hard to catch their eggs and like bond to. The Molten Maws are easier. So it's like a really brave people will go to the saber scythes and the.
You have to be smarter to get the.
Yeah, like
the moon plumes, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, I got a question about the dragons. Maybe you'll know this.
Go ahead.
Why are the moon plumes so good? Just that they're smart? Is that the main thing?
They're really smart.
Okay.
What do you mean so good?
Because like I mean like they like hype up the moon plumes, but like every single time I see them, I'm like they need sunscreen, bro. Like
they hype up the moon plumes because it has a moon plume. You know what I mean? And she kind of is a moon plume, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get that, but it's like they're like the rare ones that like everyone like seems to want.
Because they're the hardest to catch.
I know, but
they're
like
the hardest to hatch.
Why would you want that one? It seems like it's not that.
I don't know, bitch. Hello?
No. I was just sitting there reading it like, bro, get some SPF protection on these fuckers. They are struggling.
Well, they aren't meant to live outside of Really.
The shade.
The shade, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's giving me.
You beat me to it.
It's giving me. I wasn't meant to live in this 100-degree heat that's happening right now.
Guys, this heat
You know what I
wave
mean?
is bad.
We're struggling. Okay, so she sneaks into her brother's sleigh, Elowen, and she
and her diary entries. Yeah.
He's going to get an egg, whatever. He gets really sick, and he gets an egg. He gets really sick. They get attacked by these like animals of a sort. And who comes in and saves them? Slatra. Yeah, a dragon.
I heard
of course.
Slatra.
Yeah. Okay. You listen to it, so that
Slatra.
You have the Slatra.
Slatra, because there's a sleigh. Yeah.
Period. Okay, so she bonds with. It's kind of giving Game of Thrones, where it's like the older dragons can bond with the younger, whatever, with younger people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because Slatra is a very old dragon. And she bonds with, you don't remember any of this, Elowen. Okay. The thing with these moonplume eggs is that you have to keep them cold, right? They can't hatch in the heat. They have to be surrounded by ice, incubated in ice. So when they're being attacked by these animals, though, Elowen brings the egg into the warmth. So when this egg eventually hatches, it has kind of a messed up wing.
It's got a half wing. Is that the?
They call it a gammy wing. It has a little messed up wing.
Nemo.
A little bit, yeah. And her brother kind of never fully recovers.
He's like stuck in his little chair and everything.
Yeah, he's not doing well. Yeah. And then eventually her brother dies, and the whole time Reeve is looking up at this one moon. And she's like, "I love that moon. I don't know why. It's like her beacon of hope. Whatever." You kind of infer, oh, it's because her brother died, and when she was Elowen. And took her up into the sky, whatever. I thought that egg or that moon was going to fall and hatch. I didn't realize that she already had. Yeah, she already was and fell. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then her parents die too. Very sad. And she eventually.
I think we're gonna find out someone killed her parents.
We know who killed her parents. Yeah, we already know who killed her parents.
We know who killed her parents? Who killed her parents?
Yeah, Diva. Khan's dad killed her parents.
Do we know that for a fact?
Yes.
I thought, when did we find that out?
I don't know. In the book? Yeah, we already know that.
Did I read this book? What the fuck?
Yeah, we already know that.
No, I thought they just got sick and died. No,
they were poisoned.
Oh, we know for a fact they were poisoned?
Yes!
I thought I was reading subtext. My fucking bad.
No, we know they were poisoned.
Khan Vagor's
no, bitch.
His father poisons and kills Rave's parents. Me, I wonder if they were poisoned and died.
Yeah. Okay. So that's Elowen. That's to keep you guys up on all of that. So Miss Girl goes with Khan. And everyone's like, oh, and this is when she runs away. Oh, wait. First, there's kind of a spicy scene.
Oh, yeah, that was.
He's like, you're my prisoner, and he's like, you come with me, whatever. He's like, if you can get through there, fine, leave, but I'm going to chase you for forever. And then she's like, I'm going to kill this guy, whatever. She goes to kill him. She's like straddling him. And then things start to get really spicy. And you're like, oh my God, it's out of nowhere. And you're like, I kind of live. And then she's like, she kind of says like, oh, it's just this. Like, it's not going to be anything more than just like a hookup essentially. And he's like, I cannot do that with you. And you're like, huh? Why? And then, she like runs away, ends up in this community where they're like, oh, you're kind of, are you listening to me?
No, I totally am taking it in, but I'm literally sitting here like, what, why are they getting it on? What did I miss? Because like that at this point, because like all of a sudden they start making it and I'm like, wait.
Because she was going to kill him. She was going to cut his throat.
No, I know. That's why we got so confused at how we got, like, I had to go back and like keep listening to it. Like, all right, go back 30 seconds. No, they just literally
when the mood hits, I guess. And because they have this weird tension that she doesn't understand, but he does, you know? Okay, but she runs away from him.
Yeah.
And she ends up with this community who are like, oh my God, you're this magical thing. And this like fate animal drives her to these people. And she's like, oh.
A mystical cat.
Yeah. And these people are like, when you come, that means that you are the person who will have the baby that will like magical Prince Who Has Promised vibes. Oh my God. Alexandros.
And the princess is her daughter.
Yes.
I get it now.
And they're
It all comes back.
Yeah.
Okay, this book is good. I'm just
I know
stupid.
it's good.
I'm just
That's
stupid.
why I sent you an eye roll emoji when you sent me that text.
No, I told you why I was mad when the book ended. I've already explained that on here too, right? Yeah.
I think that's something that you need to go into this book. This book is different than other fantasy books in the way that this book is a mystery. This book isn't giving us a full climax, like a full battle or anything like
there's
that.
one climax.
There are actually quite
There's a couple of them.
but like it's different. It's different than a lot of other fantasy books in this way, because the whole time information is being thrown at you. It's not that there's necessarily like a moment that we're building up to in this. It's that the moment we're building up to is just us figuring it out. And her figuring it out, and them all figuring it out.
I feel like
right?
that's why I got so mad because when I
I
finally
know that's
figured
why
it
you
out,
got
I was
so
like,
mad. Yeah. Whereas
Wait.
if you were to read it again, Alexandros, I promise you'd be like,
I've been reading it.
Whoa, yeah. Because I plan on reading it again because
Chapter
I know
one, I was like, huh.
I know there's a lot of stuff that I missed. Right? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, these people are like, okay, we need to put you through a trial. And she's like, not another fucking trial. Okay, just kill me at this point. And it's basically giving Game of Thrones trial by combat vibes, where they're like, oh, I'll be your champion kind of vibes, whatever.
Yeah.
And
I have a really funny like part from this where it's like the two guys are gonna fight for her essentially, and I was like, okay, that can be fun, but we very quickly realized that like this guy sucks. He's the worst. I was like, come on, this was gonna be interesting for a second.
Yeah.
The one translator girl from this tribe that's like talking with her, and it's just like, hey, after he wins, he's gonna take you to his tent to like see the pelts of his kills, where he'll lay you down on those pelts. Isn't that sounding fun? And Rave's sitting there like, no,
Like, not literally.
that's awful. I don't want to do that at all. I can't think of anything I want less.
But then during all of that, Khan swoops in again. He's like, I will fight for her.
She fights for herself first.
Yeah.
It's giving Merida.
I'm shooting for my own hand.
Yeah, I'll be playing for my own hand.
And yeah, she gets like, is it bit by something?
Yeah, she gets bit by a snake.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
This made me laugh because after she gets bit by the snake that like the guy throws at her during their fight, I'm like, nobody saw him throw a snake at her for one. Two, a little bit afterwards, she starts getting dizzy. She's like, that serpent spiked me with its venom. I'm like,
you mean?
Yeah, that's what you explained? Yeah, that's the part that you feel the need to explain to me. I understood that part. Where are these moons coming from? Come on.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Okay, so
I understand the snake bite was poisonous. Come on. Sorry, venomous.
So then Khan eventually fights for her, takes her. My favorite part was when I was about to go. Wait, never mind. So Khan takes her to like his home, his kingdom. Yeah. And his sister's like, what the fuck? Because he's like, that is Elowen.
That's literally her. That's crazy.
Literally her. I kind of live for Vea because she's giving like kind of a bitch, and I live.
Yeah, when we got the Vea POV, I was like, we are so far into this book to introduce a new POV like this. No, I liked it. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but I was just saying that it's like,
her.
I just kept getting more and more confused.
Yeah,
I'm like, we got another POV in here?
And Vea's really a bitch because she's trying to protect her brother from getting hurt, essentially. You know what I mean?
I love their first interaction with Rave and Vea, where it's Rave's just now waking up and like she's healed, and Vea's just like, you suck. You're the worst, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking like, does she not get how amnesia works?
Yeah, Miss Girl.
She is a different person right now.
Yeah. Which I wonder, I wonder, so that she's obviously reincarnated, right? But because it's giving reincarnated like trope vibes, I guess. But I'm like trying to figure out, that's my question. Is she reincarnated?
So she's immortal. I think she was in hibernation. I understood it as when she was in that moon, when she was in her dragon, is that they just kind of like incubated for a while and then like
fell. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, is she in there still her? Or is she sharing a space kind of with her? Or are they a combination of two different, do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I think because they go so high up and it like freezes essentially when they calcify, she was like in like hibernation, like stasis frozen, hyper sleep, whatever the sci-fi term is. And when it crashed down, they kind of fused identities in their souls or whatever in the body that could live on. Which
do you think,
healed her essentially in that time.
I'm following.
Mhm.
So when he takes her back, he's trying to get her to remember, probably a little too fast, which Vea's like, you need to slow down. She's going to ignite herself, essentially, which I'm like, oh, bitch has fire powers. Hello? They're like, she's going to blow up.
Flame
She's
on?
going to, like,
This place
light
is
her
about
fuse.
to blow.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this bitch has fire powers, too. She just doesn't realize.
She's just terrified of fire.
Exactly. So he takes her to go see the dragon, to go see Slatra, who'd fallen. And he had taken years.
Yeah, 120 years or so.
Love him. He's so, so sweet. So
I would have gotten frustrated after a year. I'd been like, I'm over this.
So he's missing a piece of her, of the dragon.
That piece.
My question is, if she were to go, I don't know, this could be crazy, but if she were to go and fit into that piece, would the dragon wake up?
I think the piece is inside her.
I think it is too, because they're like, oh, there's something weird in her. There's something weird happening. I think she is the piece. But my question is, do you think the dragon will come back to life? I do.
The dragon stays in her, and she shapeshifts into a dragon.
Okay.
I just came up with that right now. I think that.
Okay. That's my question. Okay.
I would love to sidetrack real quick for something that kept coming up in the
Okay.
descriptiveness of this writing that I feel the need to bring up
Period.
because it made me laugh so hard. She kept talking about how massive her tits were throughout this.
She did.
And
I was like, what?
I have a few quotes here. Like this is like chapter 1 or 2. I think like the bodice makes my already full breasts spill from the neckline, and I just realized like this was like in her like assassin outfit or something like that. I think, and I think she had already mentioned her boobs a few times.
She
that I was just
does
kind of
a
like,
lot.
and I was like, okay, that's weird that you feel the need to keep saying just
Yeah, she
how
did
big
say it
your
a
boobs
lot.
are. Like go off, I guess.
She's like, don't forget I'm hot.
And there's there's another part where like she's imprisoned and like chained up or something like that, and then a Zaros, like her torturer, imprisoner guy, just goes all, "You were quite a handful." Then he glances down. Well, maybe more than a handful. I'm like, we get it. You have boobs.
Yeah, no, I
get
noticed
it.
that too, and I was like, work. Listen, the diva said,
We get it. Every
We
part
told
of
her
you
no.
is the size of a twig except your tits.
please, that's crazy.
This is another one. When she was, I get so tired of the I'm not deserving of love type of trope. Like I just personally, it's not my bag when they're all just like pushing people away. It's like, no, you'll get hurt if you stay with me. I would much rather prefer it if like they're afraid of that commitment, because I'm like, all right, that's something that like they can do, as opposed to that everyone I love dies.
Right.
I can't. I'm like, anyway, but she said something that and just the wording of it was find somebody worthy of his big, wholehearted love, and I was like, girl, that was some wording right there, because she had just been like looking at like his tight pants or something like that, and I was like, okay,
Big
wholehearted love. Yeah. I'm like, is that what the kids are calling it these days?
hysterical.
Wholehearted love.
I love it. Okay, so
Con
I love
talking with her.
Khan.
Yeah.
I think Khan, because he's so like, anytime she's like getting frustrated, he's like, I just love you. That's all he kept saying. I was like, oh,
Fellas,
that's really sweet.
is it cheating because she's technically a different person?
Whoa.
I wanted to ask that.
Whoa.
Hypothetically speaking,
well, she's
is it
dead,
cheating?
no?
well, I think like her memory is still there somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
technically-
but I mean, in his, like, do you know what I'm saying?
I know, but like,
Yeah.
if you're technically still alive, somebody else who's just in your body, is that cheating?
It's giving The Host by Stephanie Meyer. It's
I gotta
giving
watch that
that.
movie again.
That book was wild. But it's giving that.
I
don't
read
know.
that book.
Who's to say?
You
What?
read that book, Solomon?
I read that book.
That book was
Hey,
crazy.
Solomon's read to the host.
That
Hey.
book was crazy. Saoirse Ronan's in that movie. Icon. You know what that is? It's okay. The girlies do.
No, Jake
Um,
Abel is.
I will. A funny note that I just caught that I
What is
wrote
that?
down.
I don't know.
What?
Jake Abel, is that his name?
I
Isn't
don't
it?
know who that is.
He's the guy who plays Luke Castellan in the Percy Jackson movie as
Oh.
well. Is he not in that movie?
I have no idea.
Is he not
I don't know.
in The Host?
I don't know. I keep saying I don't know.
Tell me.
I literally put down the other is giving The Host. Mm-hmm.
I was so confused, but now that I've
But it's the dragon. I know it. It has to be.
to the end, yeah, I think it's the dragon, and I'm
Yeah.
so mad that I didn't think of that.
God, I'm smart. Okay, so
She runs away and she goes and hides in like a little cabin
their cabin. She's like drawn to it.
Yeah, where she and Khan lived
Like
for a
in
while.
the cave. So cool.
And after she makes it a home, she kind of keeps she has a good time by herself in there. Just
because she has these memories
of like him and her in there doing some stuff.
Hell yeah.
But I think we have a Vea set of chapters going in between where she goes to get this little shape-shifting bangle. Didn't understand what was going on with that till the very end. And like a few other things of like everyone trying to figure out what's going on in the world. And this is where I kind of like, not lost interest, but kind of was like, all right, what are we doing here? Because
it's a lot of
lags.
figuring stuff out. Yeah, yeah.
And I was not figuring anything out.
I think I enjoyed it because I did have
You
a
had
better
figured it out.
understanding
So
of what was happening.
I'm reading it and I'm just like, all right, how long is Miss Girl gonna keep enjoying those hands of hers? That's
Girl,
how
as long as she should.
as long as she wants. But I'm like, we're 10 chapters of
Right.
just this happening right now. Like, we get it. He was great.
Where is he off to though? I forget. Because he leaves for a second. Where is he?
Isn't he just running his kingdom?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I thought he was just. Oh,
Yeah.
they go to hunt a dragon at one point. That's gone
Yes.
feral and like, yeah,
Work.
yeah.
I mean, I love a dragon, obviously.
Then let's just hop on down to when they finally get together again.
So there's like a thing called the Great Flirt where something's happening in the sky.
That was my nickname in high school.
Yeah, okay. And it's like a whole event, and he like leaves her a dress and a mask and stuff, and I was like, ooh, cute vibes. And she like meets him there, but
They play that card
They play a
game that I
game,
didn't
yeah.
understand. I needed a card game that I could understand.
I needed Uno.
Yeah, I needed Uno. I
Yeah.
need Uno. I need something that's
I know.
like
I
Go
can't-
Fish. Because the cards were shape-shifting and stuff, and I'm just like,
Magic. The magic was magic.
come on, I wanna know what's happening. It's like, have you ever seen Crazy Rich Asians?
I have.
You know when they're playing mahjong at the end?
Yes.
And I know just based on how it's written that it's an expertly crafted scene.
yeah.
I do not know if she won the game or not.
Well,
I don't know how to play
Okay.
mahjong, and I think I looked it up, and I feel like she gave up the win so the mom could win, but showing that she had all the cards to win, essentially. I think that was my interpretation
Work.
of it, I think, after looking at a Google
To
post.
be honest, I
5
hate
years ago.
card games and board games because when people explain rules to me, I can't figure it. I think my brain
This book.
my brain does what your brain did during this book, where I fully black out and I can't comprehend.
Just go home.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
friend's ex-boyfriend, who I went on a rant on about the Frappuccinos last time, one time I told him to wait until we were done eating before he explained the rules to Catan to me,
Yeah.
to which he then went, so actually this is how it works, as we were still eating, and I was like, I'm not fucking listening to you, and I kind of was really mad the whole time, so fuck Catan.
I like after like an episode we filmed a while ago, you texted me afterwards. You're like, "Hey, I ate now, so I'm not cranky anymore."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I understand that. That's great."
Yeah, very that vibes. Okay, so they have their night together, which they have a moment where they like kiss. There's like a bet, whatever. They kiss, and then it kind of fades to black, which I thought was wacky.
Yeah. I
Because
was
they like have
oh.
a night where they're like drunk and partying.
I was like, we're gonna get railed in our comments for there being no railing in this book. Okay.
Well, don't worry.
Yup.
But I thought that was kind of wacky. And I also loved the slow like realizations that during their night out, she was kind of telling him stuff like, oh yeah, I really like you. I'm just scared. Oh yeah, I kind of remember things, but I don't want to lose everyone I love. And he's like kind of learning these things and he's like, huh? But she's like, what? I was drunk. She's so girly pop for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then that morning when they.
And then the morning. Okay. What did you
Sorry,
think
not
about
the
this?
morning. The next Aurora cycle. My bad.
The day,
DAE. Fucking after slumber.
Yeah.
There's also a moment where she's like, I take a tonic. And I'm just like, classic fantasy
Always.
stuff. Yeah.
Always.
Well,
Good.
I was cooking last night listening to this audiobook, and
Were you prepared for edging or what? That's what that was.
when they really?
Yeah.
That's edging?
Yeah.
Not edging? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, he does. He does to her. He does to her. Okay.
Alexandros.
I was sitting there, I was like, they were full on going at it. That's
yeah,
not-
but he kept stopping and being like, you have to promise me that whatever the whole time.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I am.
That's.
I was paying attention.
I thought you were
Trust.
asking me if I was going to be while reading. I was like,
Ew,
no.
no,
That's why I was like,
You looked at me so crazy. I'm talking about the book, Alexandros.
I know. That's
You're
what I
on the
thought.
Smut Couch. Remember where you are.
That's why I was like, what the fuck are you asking me right now? We're gonna have to cut this out. What the fuck is that, Maddie?
No,
Jesus.
that was happening in the book.
Yes, that was. All right.
He's like coaxing information out of her, and he's like, because he keeps like
He's
stopping.
coaxing it out. Yeah, he's pulling it out with his tongue.
He keeps stopping, and then she's like, ah, and he's like, okay, will you promise me that whatever? And she's like, fine.
So I literally wrote, I thought they faded to black. So all of a sudden they're just like, whoa.
And it was explicit.
It was a lot. And it's the one chapter. And it's like, hey.
Explicit.
It's been nothing but me not understanding like these dragons, these moons, aurora cycles. And all of a sudden I'm like,
yeah.
All right, I get what's happening here, but Jesus, well, where did this come from?
It was crazy. But I lived.
Yeah, I wrote, Jesus, this scene came out of nowhere. Instead of saying like, oh God, she just goes creators. And I'm like, okay.
Creators.
Creators.
I love it.
Okay, all right.
I love it. What?
There's another part later on where they're having a discussion and he asks, do you want to fight or fuck about it?
So iconic.
Let's ask the audience. Would you rather Khan Vagar, is it Vagar? No, it's not Vagor.
Vagor.
Yeah, Vagor. Sorry.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
Khan Vagor asks you, do you want to fight or fuck?
There's only one correct answer.
We asked 100 people, storyboards.
Literally.
And I was just like, well, the answer is going to be very clear. And then she's like, we'll fight about it. I was like, oh my God, okay.
She has to,
All right, fine. We'll get through the plot now.
Yeah.
This is right when you told me about the glossary. And I looked into everything and I was like, an eon, because they were like, I lost you an eon ago. And I was like, all right, well, let's not be dramatic. It was only 100 years. And he says, an eon is 100 phases. Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
That's dumb. An eon already has like an eon is 1,000 years in our time. Why are we changing that up? I did like how 100, was it 1,000 aurora cycles is a phase? Mm-hmm. I did like that. That was like, that's appeasing my brain right there.
Right.
Then I was like, yeah.
And between this is we're getting more, this is also like it's fully established that she is Elowen. She's kind of come to terms with, I am Elowen. But she also has these memories that she doesn't want to bring up. And she keeps talking about a lake that she's shoving her memories into, which I'm like, hi, it's giving water. Like, bitch is a waterbender too, obviously.
She's the avatar.
Yeah. I like the way that she alludes to all of the different elements and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think it's very cool. But he's like, he's frustrated because he's like, you need to like, come on, let's remember it. Let's work through this. And she's like, nar. Which I don't know if I can take much more of that. In a sequel, I'm gonna need Miss Girl to confront her.
Yeah. When they were talking about how she left because she went to be with another male or something like that, I was like, that's gonna offer so many like interesting dynamics. Then you find out in her letters, no, she was just lying about that because she was pregnant with his child. And the overall king, his dad, was like, I'm going to tell his brothers about that and they're gonna rip him apart if that's the case.
Yeah, because he figured it out. He's like, I noticed you missed a period, girl. I'm like, how did you? What? You got you're watching everything. Sir.
It was locked in.
I know, because her and Khan were like
getting it on,
living their best lives. Truly. Also, she has the
she's got the diadem.
Just so we remember about that.
Ironically enough, in the exposition at the start, they talk about how everyone forgot about what the diadem was really used for.
Period.
They do. So we were forgetting about the diadem right there.
Yeah.
And that was less than 5 million years.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to point out that so there's Kazari. She's the princess.
She's thought of to be Tyros' daughter.
Yes.
But she's actually Khan's daughter.
Right.
And Rave's.
Yes, because she goes and she does leave Khan a note because she doesn't want him to die. And she's like, I'm leaving you for your brother. Sorry.
His bloodline is stronger or something.
Yeah,
like
his
that.
brother
I'm like,
leaves him a note.
I do not tell what that is.
Yeah. She goes, Stella. And she's pregnant, but so the diadem, it kind of sucks the life out of you. It's because it's using your energy to keep him in there, right? So it's kind of like parasitic in that way. So she is kind of being eaten in two ways, parasitically, where she is having a baby growing from her, and she's having this, so she's not surviving.
She's getting eaten 3 ways in this book.
Shut the fuck up.
Well, technically 4 if we count the dragon.
Yeah. So she's like, she's not surviving the pregnancy with the diadem, essentially.
Can she not take it off?
Mm-mm. They don't know what would happen if they take it off.
How did she get it on? Somebody had to take it off and put it on her, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
can you not pass it along for like a month?
No, she's not allowed to. Because it has to, I think it has to be the princess, right? Or something like that. It has to be whatever her status was. Because she was the former princess.
Yeah.
Her parents were killed. So then she's, okay. So then she has a baby.
Okay.
She dies, right?
Yeah.
And then her dragon takes her up into the sky, right?
Yeah.
They give the diadem immediately as Kazari's a baby to her, put it on her.
She stopped crying.
And she stopped crying. And then Kazari's growing up. She's like, I'm in love with Kalis. I'm in love with this thing. It's probably because she has spent her entire, not supposed to, but she did spend her entire life from like being an infant on with this diadem on her.
Is Kalis just grooming this girl? Hold on a second. That's not cool.
We don't know. We don't know. We have no idea what Kalis's deal is.
Yes. That
so
did
smart.
happen. Yes.
It did.
Yes.
So then at the end of the book,
Rex Zaros comes on back, the guy who was torturing her.
Yeah.
Has a little moon plume without sunscreen.
And she kind of has a moment with the moon plume.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of giving, is she bonding with another dragon vibe?
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you've said that she's got a dragon inside her, I'm like,
I don't know. But that's bless you. But that's my question is like, if she has a dragon inside of her, if she were to reattach herself to the dragon, would the dragon come alive and then she has 2 dragons? Or is that not possible? Am I just making shit up?
she shapeshifts into a dragon.
I don't think so at all.
I think she shapeshifts into a dragon. That's what I want to happen.
Okay, I doubt that, but I love your creativity. So
sorry, the quote
okay.
"split you like an egg." I have to say that.
Go ahead.
I have to say
you
that.
Did mention that earlier.
This insane scene out of nowhere. Split you like an egg. Hated that.
Sorry.
Don't like that. What do you mean?
I think there's a lot of egg imagery. There's a lot of hatching because the bitch was hatched.
On a split. The bitch got split like an egg too.
Yeah.
God damn.
Mm-hmm. She came from one. She'll get split like one. Period. Okay, so Rex Zaros. What happens?
We get a POV from him out of nowhere. I was like, okay.
Yes. What happens with him again? The other comes back.
The other comes back, pretends to be for him in his room, and then sticks an iron pin in him and starts burning him alive.
Uses
piece by piece.
fire. Avatar. So iconic. And then he dies? Question mark.
I mean, we don't know.
We don't know.
He was not playing this smart at all.
Yeah.
The second some possessed girl starts going like, do you have any idea, while holding like a fire, what it feels like for a moon plume to go out in the sun? Don't say no. Bro shakes his head no. And then I'm like, she's going to start burning you. I mean, you were going to get burned either way, but now you lose the aura points for being like, no, what happens?
Just trying to remember.
And then the epilogue is from the Scavenger King, which she mentions the Scavenger King very later on, right?
She mentions it
at the start?
A little bit throughout. Yeah.
I only heard it from that one dream. That was the first time that I really picked up on it.
Yeah, she has like memories of fire and like fighting
and being burned. So like I know she's traumatized by the fire, and I assume the Scavenger King used fire to do it when we find out in her dreams that he did. Yeah. But he has Kazari.
Yeah.
He has Princess Kazari, who Rex Zaros was looking for. Mm-hmm. They go on in looking, and he's torturing her, and he's like, she looks familiar. She looks like, my little fire lark, he called her, or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, she looks like her.
Oh, well, haven't seen her in a while, which means that he didn't know who she was, right? Mm-hmm. That's good. Good. How did she end up with him again? Do we know?
I think I don't know.
He hatched her? I don't know. He broke her out of that?
Hatched what?
When...
what are you saying?
when she hatched out of the moon. When the moon hatched.
When the moon hatched.
And Rave was in it.
Oh, yeah, maybe he's who found her. I don't think we really know the answer to that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well, apparently there were a lot of answers that I just didn't.
Yeah. I don't think we know. We don't really know what happened to her upon hatching.
Good to know.
Yeah. But we can infer that she was like used in some like fire pit ring thing, whatever. And the Scavenger King is the bastard brother of Rue
the other
and
kings.
the other
Yeah.
kings. Yeah.
Okay. I picked up on that.
Uh-huh.
And then that little
He has Kazari.
the tweet goes flying.
The tweet
goes flying on back to Kazari, which I guess it was so cool seeing that Kazari was the one who wrote that to her dead mom, essentially. I need you.
Mm-hmm. That like I like
That was
almost started
cool.
to cry. I thought
That
it
was
was so
cute.
beautiful because it's like so. But then the question comes up of like, was she just writing it like just like I need you like?
It's
In-
a quarter after one.
I fucking hate that song. That's my least favorite song in the whole world.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a trigger.
I
My best friends tell me
demeanor changed
Yeah.
so instantly. I was like, Sorry.
no, my hell is sitting in a room listening to that over and over again, drinking root beer. Those are two things I hate more than anything in my whole life. And this was spoken about 2 days ago with my besties.
What do you got against root beer?
It's disgusting,
Yeah, I don't-
is what I got
I'm
about
gonna be
it.
on Maddie's side with that one, Solomon.
You don't like root beer too?
I don't like root beer. No,
So,
Yeah.
bleh, it tastes gross. Sorry if you like it.
we're gonna lose the root beer.
Sorry if you like it. I don't. But respect,
Sponsorship.
girl. Yeah. What's that company? Like A&W. Like
Oh, yeah.
they're like immediately deletes their DM to us.
Yeah, but
They're like, never mind, sorry. Oh, that's hilarious.
one thing we wanted:
Anyways.
Smut Couch sponsorship.
Right. Okay. So let's what I was gonna ask before I got mad. So I need you. Is that a metaphorical letter she was writing to her mother? Does she know what happened to her
I
mother?
don't think.
Do you know what I mean?
I didn't take it as a she knew. I took it as a like, you know how like you just kind of like
Like a doodle?
cathartic like write something down and then like you just send it
Right.
off like it's not gonna go anywhere. It's gonna filter out and die.
Or was it when she was quite young and she's like, I need you, and she's like, may it find whoever it needs to. Like she's like, it needs to find my mother. And so, you know what I mean? Does she
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm excited to figure that out.
I am too.
Yeah.
And I also want to remember what those things are called.
Is it Larks?
Larks.
I like tweets better. Guys,
Larks.
I've never felt so smart before. I hope I did a good job kind of explaining.
You really did because I
Thank you.
fully understand.
Okay,
This,
because
well, fully is a strong word, but you
getting
caught
it
me up.
better.
I was failing this
Yeah.
class. Now I feel like on the midterm I'm gonna at least get the multiple choice right.
right. I think that this book is a little bit more difficult to understand than a lot of stuff that we
For
do.
dummies like me.
It's not dumb. I think that it's so I've actually been really wanting to get into like high fantasy. I have read Game of Thrones, almost all of them. I haven't finished them. I have read Lord of the Rings, but I've really wanted to read like
Have you read the Silmarillion yet?
no.
You should get into that then.
Yeah.
That's about as high as fantasy gets.
Well, I really want to read like Brandon Sanderson, like Mistborn vibes, and I want to read like all of those kind of things. But I've been saying to myself like I'm really afraid that I'm too dumb because I'm
You're
a
not.
huge Game of Thrones fan, like huge Game of Thrones. And I know a lot. I actually know a lot about Game of Thrones because I would like watch videos between all of the seasons, like
Mhm.
Alt Shift X. If anyone is familiar, it's a YouTube video who would like a YouTube channel who would like just go into all of the lore and like really fill in whatever. And so I sometimes get frustrated when reading fantasy because I know so much about certain worlds and I hate not knowing about it. Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I fear that I am too dumb. Truly.
You are not.
Thank you. But that's the fear that I've been having of like I want to read like Brandon Sanderson. I want to read these really high like fantasy books, but I like I keep saying I fear I'm too dumb. This I feel like is a good middle ground between books that are super accessible fantasy, like ACOTAR, like Fourth Wing, like Shadow and Bone, and that. You know what I mean? Because I got this, I feel like I can move on to that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, my biggest problem with not understanding this book is that I don't think I was locked in enough on the first chapter.
Well, I think because books like this, it takes a certain amount of you got to focus,
Mhm.
you know, and it does take. You have to be patient with yourself. I think especially because a lot of times we have deadlines.
Yeah, we gotta-
try to fly through things, which you can do with the love hypothesis, which you could do with Powerless, but with this, you can't. You have to be patient.
Got to take our time.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of hard too sometimes.
Absolutely.
You know, but
the sequel comes out next year, I think. Fall 2025.
I'm so excited. I really loved this.
I liked it
because I feel like it gives me a world similar to Game of Thrones where I feel like there's so much I don't know, but there's so much I'm excited to know. And I think it was so creative. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
I always like fantasy for that very reason. I love entering a new world. I love really immersing myself in it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel, the deadline just kind of screwed me over on this one. Where
it gets hard.
Because
we won't lie, it gets a little hard.
Mm-hmm. And so when I was rereading the first few chapters and getting you to explain it all, it was so much more helpful.
Yeah.
Then the same way with Game of Thrones, I would watch all the other little videos in between.
Oh, yeah.
To find out what all the histories of the houses were and stuff.
My favorite thing in the world. Favorite thing in the world.
To send us off real quick, speaking of fantasy, this is not my bit. This is something I saw on TikTok a while ago. Full disclosure, I don't know what. It's just an audio. It goes, there are two kinds of fantasy. Once there were many dragons flying throughout the universe, or something like that. And it's like, that was an age of a different time, an age of magic and power and mystery. Maybe those days will return. Maybe that one day the dragons will return, but we will need some type of chosen to come bring us into that era. And the majesty of the dragons will be with us once more. In part 2, we gotta find a way to kill these fucking dragons.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not my bit.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's like
I love dragons.
Yeah.
Obviously, I got tattooed.
Dragons. You got dragons in there. Do you ever read Aragon?
I did. I don't know if I read all of them though. I can't remember.
I was just rereading them and like listening to like some audiobooks for them that I just like found on YouTube because somebody had just published them on there.
Period.
And I was like, cool. And then they got taken down right when I was in the last one. I was like, come on.
Rip.
Piracy.
No.
It's on YouTube. It's legal if you're just looking it on YouTube.
Alexandros.
It's not gonna be my fault. If you can Google it and it's the first option on YouTube, surely it's not that illegal.
You're getting us in trouble.
Yeah,
anyways.
I'm sorry. No. I already own like 3 copies of those books anyway.
Period. Anyways,
Next
I
up.
very much love. Hold on, let me finish this thought. I very much love this. I hope you guys did too. I'm excited to see what happens. If I didn't do a good job explaining it, I'm so sorry.
No, you nailed it.
Thank you. That's very nice.
You nailed it.
Yeah,
I understood it. I don't know.
and just on the thing that you were saying about like, I appreciated that this was something very different than a lot of the romanticies we've read before. Because I think I'm getting a little burnt out on that. Yeah. And so this being something so otherworldly, so mystical, magical, and
with
all of
that
that
one
kind of
chapter
stuff.
On brand.
Yeah, I just really loved it. Period. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Harper Collins. Loved it.
Keep sending us more, guys. Yeah.
Send us a sequel.
Send us the sequel. Send us a really cool copy of the sequel.
Please. Okay, so next, full disclosure, I'm about to have a really crazy Halloween. So we're gonna see what happens. So we're gonna do a big one now, so that maybe we do little ones later.
Sounds good.
Tell them what we're gonna
Next up, we're definitely gonna be doing a Dramione. We've been getting this one requested for a while, but right when we were deciding for this next Dramione, somebody emailed us asking.
I know.
Like, all right, sounds good. So next up, we will be doing Bloody, Slutty, and Pathetic by What Murda.
Period. What Murda?
What Murda?
Yeah. Anyways, love you guys.
See you next time.
Bye.